Does your cat insist on sleeping right next to you every single night, pressed against your side, curled near your legs, or even stretched across your pillow? But then during the day, that same cat suddenly acts distant, walks past you like you don't exist, or completely ignores you when you try to pet them. Most cat owners assume the explanation is simple. Cats sleep with us because we're warm. A human body is basically a giant heated mattress. And when they seem aloof later, we shrug and say, well, that's just cats. Independent, moody, mysterious. But the truth is far more fascinating and honestly, a little more emotional than most people realize. Because for a cat, choosing to sleep next to you is not a casual decision. It's actually one of the most vulnerable and risky things they can do. When a cat falls asleep beside you, they're overriding thousands of years of survival instinct that normally tells them to hide, stay alert, and never fully let their guard down. So if your cat chooses your bed instead of a quiet corner, they're sending you a message. And if a cat who used to sleep beside you suddenly starts keeping their distance, that's also a message. In this video, we're going to uncover the hidden psychology behind why cats sleep next to their humans and the surprising reason they sometimes pull away afterward. Because once you understand what's really happening in your cat's mind at night, you may never look at that little sleeping furball beside you the same way again. 1. It was never about staying warm. The vulnerability test. Let's start with something almost every cat owner has experienced. You buy your cat a beautiful heated bed, soft, cozy, perfectly designed for them. And what does your cat do? They completely ignore it, walk straight past it, and climb into bed with a human who is 15 times their size. Most people think the explanation is simple. My cat just wants warmth. But here's the part that surprises most owners. Cats are incredibly resourceful when it comes to heat. If warmth were the only goal, they could sleep on a laptop, curl up near a radiator, or stretch out in a sunny window. They have dozens of warm places to choose from. So why do they choose you? Because sleep is the moment when a cat is at their most defenseless. In the wild, falling asleep in the wrong place could mean the difference between survival and becoming prey. Their instincts scream at them to find hidden corners, high shelves, or places where nothing can sneak up on them. Which means when your cat bypasses every quiet hidden spot in the house and chooses to fall asleep beside you, something very powerful is happening in their mind. They're performing what behavior experts sometimes call a vulnerability test. By sleeping next to you, your cat is silently saying something they can't express in words. I trust this giant creature enough to completely let my guard down. Think about that for a moment. Your cat isn't just sharing your bed. They're placing themselves in their most vulnerable state, right beside you. And if your cat does this every night, that's actually a huge sign of trust. By the way, if your cat sleeps next to you like this, curled up against your legs, pressed against your side, or even right on your pillow, type 1 in the comments. I'm curious how many cats out there are secretly running this little trust test with their humans. And if you enjoy learning the hidden psychology behind cat behavior like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video. Because once you start understanding what your cat's instincts are really telling you, their behavior suddenly begins to make a lot more sense. And the next thing your cat does right before falling asleep next to you might reveal something even deeper about your bond. 2. They are actively mixing your scents. Have you ever noticed what your cat does right before they finally settle down next to you? Maybe they rub their head against your arm, maybe they nudge their forehead into your shoulder, or they start kneading the blanket beside your body like they're trying to bake invisible bread. Most people think this is just a cute little routine your cat does before falling asleep, but there's actually something much deeper happening. Cats experience the world primarily through scent. In fact, their sense of smell is one of the main ways they understand relationships, territory, and safety. Hidden in your cat's cheeks, forehead, and even in their paw pads are tiny scent glands that release unique chemical signals. Every time your cat rubs their face against you, every time they knead the blanket next to your body, they are quietly leaving those scent signals behind. In the wild, cats that belong to the same colony share a communal scent. It's like an invisible group identity that tells them who belongs and who doesn't. So when your cat presses against you before sleep, they're doing something ancient and instinctive. They're blending their scent with yours. It's not random affection, it's a bonding ritual. In your cat's mind, they are essentially saying, "You are part of my safe circle. You belong to my group." And once that shared scent is established, sleeping beside you becomes even more meaningful, because now, when they curl up next to you, your smell and theirs are mixed together, creating the familiar scent of home. But scent bonding is only part of the story. If you pay close attention, many cats don't just sleep anywhere beside their human. They often choose a very specific position, sometimes near your head, sometimes facing the bedroom door, sometimes watching the room while you sleep. And that strange sleeping position might reveal something surprising about the role your cat believes they play in your life. 3. They think they are your bodyguard. Now here's something that confuses a lot of cat owners. Your cat doesn't just sleep anywhere on the bed. Instead, they often choose a very specific position. Some cats curl up near your head. Some position themselves facing the bedroom door. Others stretch out across your chest or lie along your side like they're guarding a border. Most people assume it's just a random preference, but when you look at it through the lens of feline instinct, the pattern becomes much clearer. Even the most pampered indoor cat still carries the ancient wiring of a predator. In wild cat colonies, survival depends on cooperation. When some cats sleep, others stay alert, watching the surroundings, listening for danger, and keeping track of movement nearby. Over thousands of years, this instinct never disappeared. It simply adapted. So when your cat chooses a strategic position while sleeping next to you, they may not just be looking for comfort. They may be assigning themselves a role. If your cat sleeps facing the bedroom door, they're watching the main entry point to your territory. If they sleep near your head, they're positioned close to your breathing and movement, making it easier to detect changes or disturbances. And if they lie across your body or beside your chest, they're essentially placing themselves between you and the rest of the room. In your cat's mind, they're not just sharing a bed, they're standing watch. Night after night, they quietly take up their post, keeping track of sounds, movement, and anything unusual happening in the environment. Of course, your cat isn't consciously thinking, "I must protect my human tonight," but instinctively, their brain is wired to monitor the safety of the space they share with the members of their trusted group. And if you're the one they sleep beside, that group includes you. But sometimes, something even stranger happens during the night. You might wake up and suddenly notice your cat staring directly at you in the darkness, or feel a soft paw gently tapping your face. And while most people assume their cat is just demanding food or trying to wake them up, the real reason might be much more surprising. Number 4. The 3 a.m. wellness check. Now let's talk about one of the strangest moments many cat owners experience at night. You suddenly wake up, and your cat is staring directly at you in the dark. Sometimes they're sitting beside your pillow. Sometimes they're hovering above your chest. And occasionally, you might even feel a soft little paw gently tap your face. Most people assume the same thing. My cat is hungry. They're trying to wake me up for food. Or simply, my cat is being weird again. But there's a fascinating instinct behind this behavior that most owners never realize. Cats are extremely sensitive to breathing patterns and movement. Their hearing and perception are so sharp that they can detect tiny rhythm changes in your breathing, shifts in your heartbeat, or the subtle movements you make during sleep. When your cat sleeps next to you, they have what you could call a front row seat to all of it. As the night goes on and you move through different sleep cycles, your breathing naturally changes. It slows down during deep sleep, sometimes becomes irregular, and your body may go very still for long periods. To a cat's instinctive brain, that silence can sometimes trigger curiosity or even mild concern. So what do? They check. And if you enjoy uncovering the hidden psychology behind cat behavior like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because once you start understanding how your cat's instincts really work, their actions suddenly become a lot less mysterious. But here's where things take an unexpected turn. Because sometimes, a cat who used to sleep beside you every night suddenly stops. They start sleeping somewhere else. They act distant during the day, and it can feel like they're giving you the cold shoulder. So what does it actually mean when a cat who once trusted you enough to sleep beside you suddenly pulls away? 5. The real reason they suddenly ignore you. So what does it mean when a cat who used to sleep next to you every night suddenly changes their behavior? Maybe they stop coming to bed. Maybe they start sleeping somewhere else in the house. Or during the day, they seem distant, walking past you without the usual affection. For many cat owners, this can feel confusing, even a little hurtful. It's easy to assume your cat is just being moody again, but in reality, cats are creatures of powerful routines. Their brains are wired around patterns that help them feel safe and in control of their environment. When a cat consistently sleeps beside you, that routine becomes part of their nightly safety ritual. So when that pattern suddenly breaks, it usually means something deeper has changed in their world. And most of the time, the reason has nothing to do with you personally. One possibility is physical discomfort. Cats have a strong instinct to hide pain or illness. In the wild, showing weakness could make them a target. So instead of acting obviously sick, many cats simply become quieter, withdraw from close contact, or start sleeping alone in more isolated spots. Another possibility is environmental stress. Cats are extremely sensitive to changes in their territory. Something as small as new furniture, unfamiliar smells, a new pet, construction noise, or even subtle changes in your routine can disrupt their sense of safety. When that happens, your cat may temporarily pull back while they reassess their surroundings. In other words, when your cat stops sleeping beside you, they aren't ignoring you out of spite. They're communicating. Their instincts are telling them that something about the environment or their own body no longer feels completely secure. And the most important thing you can do in that moment is not force closeness. Give them space. Observe their behavior. Watch for subtle signs of discomfort or stress. Because once your cat begins to feel safe again, those old routines often return on their own. And when they do, when your cat quietly climbs back onto the bed and curls up beside you, it's not just a habit coming back. It's trust returning. So the next time you wake up and find your cat curled up beside you, pressed against your side or quietly sleeping near your head, try to see that moment a little differently. Because for a cat, sleeping next to a human isn't just a comfortable habit. Cats naturally have very different sleep cycles than we do. Their instincts are built around staying alert, waking frequently, and resting in short bursts throughout the night. But when a cat chooses to sleep beside you, something remarkable happens. They're adjusting that ancient rhythm, one that evolved over thousands of years, just so they can spend the night in the same space as you. That means they're ignoring the instinct that tells them to hide. They're overriding the part of their brain that says stay alert, and instead, they're choosing to rest beside the place they feel safest. You. So if your cat curls up next to you tonight, remember what that moment really means. To your cat, you're not just the person who fills the food bowl. You're not just the giant creature who shares the house. You are their safe place. You are part of their territory, their routine, and their trust. And in the quiet world of a cat's mind, that makes you something even more special. You are home. Now I'm curious about your cat. Does your cat sleep next to you at night, or do they prefer their own secret sleeping spot somewhere in the house? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to hear about your cat's nighttime habits. And if you enjoy discovering the hidden psychology behind cat behavior, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video. Because once you start understanding how your cat's mind really works, every little thing they do begins to tell a story.